Hey everybody, Jackson Shaw with Clear Skye here. And I just wanted to give a little perspective on what I think is a really interesting topic. And in fact, my friends over here at KuppingerCole just did an analyst chat about it. It's about the citizen developer, and they titled their podcast, Meet the Citizen Developer. I thought it was really interesting what Matthias Reinwarth and Alexei Baligansky discussed. When you start thinking about the citizen developer, which is getting a lot of talk these days, it kind of made me think of and they gave this great example of, sort of the original citizen developer was the person who would extract a whole bunch of data, put it into Excel, write some macros, do some charting, and develop something useful to present to another group, perhaps in a company, that maybe their IT department couldn't do. And the whole concept around the citizen developer is what tools and what capabilities can you give that are easy like that, like Excel to some degree, to have a business worker, a knowledge worker in the company work hand in hand with the IT folks to do some development and be involved in the process, as opposed to just having a bunch of guys at IT having to do that. And it was just a really, really interesting chat that I'd certainly encourage you to listen to if you want to learn a bit more about the citizen developer. But they brought up some really good points, and I think a lot of these are points that would be of concern to all of us, or if they're not, maybe it's a good chance for you to learn a little bit about them. But when you export things, if we just take that Excel example to start with, and we can draw that more into present time with other tools, but you're exporting data which may have privacy concerns, may have security concerns. There may be issues around data leakage, access rights, audit of this kind of information, who has access, etc. So obviously not generally what companies are trying to achieve today. By having citizen developers, a lot of folks are much more interested in how do we protect some of these things, and how do we have less of these kind of risks. But it is really interesting to me that, and again, another point that Alexei brings up is the fact that there is a parallel to shadow IT with a citizen developer. In other words, you can have a whole bunch of folks inside of a company doing development that you may not know of. And I think that's a great and valid point. And are they developing software within the framework of what your company might want? And even in talking to our own folks and talking to the founder of Clear Skye about this, there's still the whole issue of the software development lifecycle, how you maintain code. So if you are a citizen developer, it's not like you can expect that there's going to be, in quotes, no standards, or it's going to be a completely open field for you to go crazy. But I do believe that it's a very important capability. I do believe that, especially with ServiceNow, which we're obviously very invested in because our identity governance product runs on top of ServiceNow. Therefore, all the tools that we use are the ServiceNow tools. It's extremely important to us from, again, the citizen developer perspective, that things like dashboards, reporting, analytics, the flow designer, notifications, chatbots, the workflows, everything is WYSIWYG, everything is based on ServiceNow. So from at least that perspective, I have a lot of faith in the ServiceNow citizen developer and the whole low-code, no-code revolution that folks are talking about, that this is a great opportunity for people that are working either with Clear Skye or with ServiceNow, because there's a little bit more rigor built around those platforms, as opposed to sort of the open platforms and the parallels that Alexei was bringing up with Excel. Anyway, it's a great, I think it's a great introduction to, as they call it, Meet the Citizen Developer. I'd highly recommend you listen to it, and it'll give you some good insight if you haven't thought much about it. But it's important to me, and it's important to our company, because of the fact that we're sitting on top of ServiceNow. We can leverage all those cool things, and we can have folks in various different departments work with this on business process redesign, and work with IT on that in that contained environment of ServiceNow. Anyway, take a listen. I hope you enjoy it, and kudos to KuppingerCole for talking about something that's so important these days.